Let's dive right in, because today's story is one of those moments the British tabloids prayed would never come. The moment when Meghan Markle, not the caricature they've tried to create, not the punching bag they've reduced her to, not the silence they hoped she'd fade into, but the woman herself steps back into her power, on her own terms, in her own time. And she's doing it with a bang. Because Meghan Markle has officially signed on to star in a brand new comedy film titled Close Personal Friends, alongside none other than Lily Collins and Brie Larson. Yes, we're talking A-list, award-winning actresses, women with successful careers, respected talent, and Hollywood credibility. Women who don't attach themselves to anything mediocre. And she's going to appear as herself. Let's pause right there, because that alone tells us everything. This isn't a cameo. This isn't a blink and you miss it. This isn't a background role created to appease the British press. This is Meghan stepping back into the industry not as Rachel Zane from Suits, not as a character crafted by someone else, but as Meghan Markle, the woman who has built a global brand, a philanthropic legacy, and yes, a fan base strong enough to shake entire media empires. And it's her first acting gig in 8 years. 8 years since marrying Prince Harry. 8 years since the UK tabloids decided she shouldn't have ambitions, shouldn't have a voice, shouldn't have independence, shouldn't outshine the monarchy. Well, she's back. And she walked onto that film set in Pasadena like she never left. The article makes it clear. Meghan wasn't hiding. She wasn't timid. She wasn't tense. No, she was relaxed. She was happy. She was confident. One source said she introduced herself to everyone and was very sweet and down to earth. Of course she was, because that's who she's always been. But the British press spent years trying to paint her as the opposite. Yet here she is, on a film set filled with major Hollywood talent, Brie Larson, Lily Collins, Jack Quaid, Henry Golding, being recognised, respected and welcomed. And let's talk about this cast for a moment. Brie Larson, Academy Award winner. Lily Collins, Golden Globe nominee and star of multiple hit series. Jack Quaid, one of Hollywood's biggest rising stars. Henry Golding, box office leading man with global appeal. This isn't small. This isn't a favour. This isn't charity. This is a major studio film under Amazon MGM, and they chose Meghan. Because Meghan brings something no one else does: a global audience, a unique personal identity, a public voice that transcends borders, and a level of authenticity that connects with millions. And let's get into the film itself. Close Personal Friends was first announced back in August, with production beginning only a month later in London. The details are being kept under wraps, of course, because when Meghan is involved, secrecy is necessary to protect the project from the vultures waiting outside. But the premise revolves around a couple who befriends a famous pair during a trip to Santa Barbara. Tell me why this sounds like it was written after someone started watching Meghan and Harry's real life and said, "Wait, this is actually a perfect movie setup." Meghan appearing as herself in this story. Brilliant, effortless, meta in a way that feels fun, powerful and liberating. Because the world has spent years telling Meghan who she is. Now she gets to show them herself. Let's talk about the significance of timing. Meghan left Suits in 2018. She left the acting world right before her wedding to Prince Harry. And since then, the narrative from certain people has been, she can't act anymore. She's not relevant. No one in Hollywood wants to work with her. She lost her place. Correction, she never lost anything. She simply stepped into a different chapter. And the industry didn't forget her. If anything, she became even more influential. Think about it. She built the Archewell Foundation. She created globally streamed content. She produced documentaries that broke records. She launched successful lifestyle ventures. She became one of the world's most studied and talked about cultural figures. This was never a fall from grace. This was a strategic evolution. And now that she's choosing to return on her terms, in the right project, with the right people, Hollywood is welcoming her with open arms. The British tabloids are going to choke on this news, because they've spent years insisting no one wants Meghan in the industry. Her career is over. She has no value without the monarchy. She only gets attention from drama. Yet here we are, a major film role, an Amazon MGM production, a set full of respected actors, a warm, positive environment where Meghan is thriving. And she's doing it while the tabloids can only watch from the sidelines. Let's talk about the on-set moment highlighted in the article. The unnamed source said, "Meghan was on the set today. She seemed very relaxed and happy. She introduced herself to everyone and was very sweet and down to earth." Do you know why this is so important? Because Meghan has been stripped of her humanity for years. People have projected hate, fantasies, stereotypes, delusions and insecurities onto her. They've mocked her voice, her personality, her kindness, her ambition. But on a film set, an environment where talent, professionalism and respect are currency, she shined. Not because she tried to prove herself, but because she simply showed up as who she's always been. A warm person, a confident woman, a professional actress, a collaborator, someone who genuinely loves her craft. This is a reminder that Meghan didn't lose her identity when she married into royalty. She expanded it, refined it, strengthened it, protected it. And now she's reclaiming a part of herself that was unfairly villainized, criticized and erased. And let's not forget what this means for the Suits fans. Meghan's role as Rachel Zane is still beloved. Even years later, Suits broke streaming records worldwide. Rachel Zane became an icon. Meghan became part of TV history. So her return to acting isn't a comeback. It's a homecoming. A moment of empowerment for a woman who was told she had to sacrifice her dreams to be accepted by an institution that never accepted her anyway. Hollywood doesn't just want Meghan back, they value her. And let's be very clear, this is only the beginning. Because once Meghan steps onto a set, she's not going to be ignored again. Producers will take notice. Streaming platforms will take notice. Studios will take notice. Her fans will take notice. And you know who else will take notice? The British tabloids who've spent years screaming, "No one wants her." Yes, them. And they're already panicking. Because Meghan returning to acting means she's visible, she's independent, she's successful without the monarchy. She's building a legacy on her own. She's rewriting their narrative. She's reminding the world she's more than what they tried to reduce her to. Let's talk about symbolism. Meghan left the acting industry when her life became overshadowed by royal protocol. She was silenced, restricted, told what she could wear, say, and dream. But now, she's on a Hollywood set in California, in sunshine, in freedom, surrounded by people who respect her. If that isn't poetic justice, I don't know what is. Close personal friends is going to do more than entertain. It's going to reintroduce Meghan Markle to the industry as the multi-talented, charismatic, intelligent woman she always was. Not the myths, not the headlines, not the monarchy's version of her, but the real Meghan. The Meghan who built a successful acting career before she ever met Harry. The Meghan who earned her place. The Meghan who worked her way up. The Meghan who isn't afraid to choose herself. And here's what the tabloids will never admit. Her return means she still has power. She still has relevance. She still has influence. She still has public interest, and people still want to work with her. You don't get invited into a major Amazon MGM film unless you bring something valuable. Meghan brings value. She brings visibility. She brings credibility. She brings star power. And the fact that she's appearing as herself shows the industry sees her as a cultural figure, not just an actress. This film will mark Meghan's official return to the screen since leaving Suits in 2018. That's historic. That's groundbreaking. That's the moment her supporters have been waiting for. And let's be honest, nobody bounces back like Meghan Markle. She takes setbacks and turns them into comebacks. She takes criticism and turns it into content. She takes hate and turns it into strength. This film is a new chapter, a bold chapter, a triumphant chapter, and once again Meghan is proving that no matter how hard they try to tear her down, she rises even higher.